you guys, and welcome to the last video of 2024. And yes, today we are finally discussing the 5 worst books I read on 2024. And I would like to say that I am a firm believer in trying new things and always giving pretty much everything a chance, because you never know what you might find. But in the literature world this year, I certainly stumbled across several books that were certainly not worth the hype, nor were they worth my time, and much less yours. Believe me, guys, if I didn't like them, you're not gonna like them. And I just don't think they had enough of anything to make us sit through reading the whole thing. So I broke down the list of 5. So I think that number 5, it's gonna be like the one I mildly disliked, and then we're going down the list to the first place, meaning like the one I really didn't like. So as usual, let's get into it. I just start by saying that the first 2 places, so 5th and 4th place, are actually by the same author. This is Ali Hazelwood. I was honestly very intrigued at first about her books because I saw her covers were like this, all dainty and pink, and the colors were funny, and definitely the doodles were kind of intriguing, right? I got the sense that it was gonna be a very spicy romance novel, which it kind of was, but on 5th place, I gotta put Love Theoretically. It was just too much for me, to be honest. I think that romance novels are obviously fiction, but they need to have that element that makes you still kind of believe that that could happen, because these ones by Ali Hazelwood, at least the ones I have read so far, they are so unbelievably fictional. Like the character description, at least of the guys, right? It's like you're never gonna find anyone like that. And even though, of course, you read other books, like for example Fourth Wing, right, which they have like very good descriptions of their characters, and somehow you can still kind of tell, okay, I kind of relate more to that. Like it's even more believable to find a fantasy character like that than one of the guys in Ali Hazelwood's books. Her descriptions were too fictional for me, so it felt like really reading something that was not real, if that even makes sense. And I felt the same with Love on the Brain, which I gotta say, these books I didn't totally despise because the girl characters were really funny. I think Ali Hazelwood obviously wants to call out to that scientist girl in you and like inspiring you to do anything you want, blah blah, which is honestly fun. She did a good job with that. But the male characters, I think they just went over the top, so she kind of ruined that for me. So I'm not really a fan of those. Then we got 3rd place. 3rd place goes to Colleen Hoover for this year, especially for the book called Layla. I read this one, I think at the beginning of the year type thing. It's one of those books that, I don't know, didn't convince me. I believe Colleen Hoover has tried to get out of her writing style a lot. Like, I don't know why I get the sense she wants to come up with something like a Stephen King, right? And she's not. And to me, she didn't cut it at all. It was such a weird book because I don't even know what expectations I went in with. Like, at least Verity, which is like a murder stories type thing, at least it has some believability on it, or like real mystery, and like it plays with your head a lot. But this one was so weird because, spoiler alert, she was talking about ghosts, and in the real world, I don't know, it was again kind of like Ali Hazelwood. Like, it was so fictional, it didn't really make sense. It was just so random. Like, why would you talk about ghosts on a book? So no, definitely didn't cut it for me. I don't think it was a good storyline. I think it was 3rd place for me. And I gotta admit, I have a tie between 2nd and 1st place, because both of these books I really wish I hadn't wasted my time on, much less have them here with me, because I have them physically with me. The ones from Ali Hazelwood, I didn't have them with me. I read them on my iPad, so they were just ebooks I got for free. But I believe I could probably do, I don't know, guys, I'm very indecisive. I think 2nd place goes to Laura Dave for The Last Thing He Told Me. I didn't get it, to be honest. I literally finished it because I will never leave a book in the middle. It wasn't a page turner. I hated the secondary character that they put along the protagonist, because, spoiler alert again, It's a teenage girl, and she's like one of those really misbehaving ones. Like, if you're gonna put a kid into the book, it has to be like Lucy Score in Things We Never Got Over. You know, a kid that's actually funny and gets along with the character. But this one was so tough to like because I don't know, her personality didn't really match. And the whole thing of the book was just all over the place. It wanted me to be intrigued by the mystery, but honestly, the mystery was so stupid I never really caught it. So I definitely lost interest on it, and that is why it's second place, because I would never ever read it again. Alright, you guys, and we have come to first place. Let's see who wins it. This one goes to The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. And this one I did buy it for myself, unfortunately. It wasn't super expensive, so I'm not gonna cry too much over it, but still, it was just not worth it. So I think I saw several recommendations, you know, like on TikTok and people mentioning it, and I had like a list. So I went to the library and it was there, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna get it, right? For some reason, I thought it was gonna be like a romance novel or something. I was drawn to the fact that it was a library, you know, and I thought the setting was gonna be nice, but it certainly was not. It was super boring. The main character was dying on self-pity that, my goodness, I couldn't. And I read this right after reading A Little Life. So I was like, what is this? Because, you know, A Little Life deals with the main topic of this book, which is, I guess, suicide, right? And obviously A Little Life is a really rough book, and it describes it very seriously. And then she comes in with the Midnight Library and the girl seeing all the possibilities that her life could have taken. And then in the end of the book, like at some point, I must admit it had some potential maybe, but nearing the end of it, the plot twist, if you could call it, was so disappointing and just made the book so boring. A friend of mine who read it said that she felt like she had a fever, she was sick. You know how you feel like you're not in your body for some reason. The book makes you feel all lost because it's so stupid and boring. I'm sorry, but no, that was definitely the biggest waste of time and money of my literature world this year. So I wouldn't recommend you guys read it either. So there you go. Those are my least favorite books of 2024. And don't get me wrong, I would not want to discredit any of these authors, because who am I to criticize them? After all, they are published writers, so obviously I have no say in this. But personally, for my own preferences and likes, I would not recommend it. If you would like to see the books that I actually loved from this year, you can check out my previous video of my top 5 favorite books of 2024, where I give you guys all my recommendations. I'm certainly looking forward to all the literature I'm gonna go through in 2025, because if you guys didn't know, I got a Kindle now. Also, I just uploaded a video unboxing it, so that was super fun, and I have not stopped using this thing since I got it, which is very exciting. And of course, I'm doing a rerun of Fourth Wing because I want to be ready with all the facts in my head when Onyx Storm comes out. I think it's by the end of January, so we're so close, guys. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think I am loving these sit down talking videos about books and things. You guys know I can ramble on about this forever. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much, you guys, for your support throughout this year. I can't believe we have hit 1K already. I think it's 1,040 subscribers already, which is crazy. So I thank you so much for that, you guys, and I really wish you a very happy and successful new year. And I guess that's it for now, but I'll see you guys next year. Goodbye.